spent my first 15 years trying to get out of the woods because I thought it was horrible. And I spent the next 20 years trying to get back. The truth of the matter is we need to be well-rounded individuals like our forefathers were.
Hey, welcome one and all to another episode of Mountain Readiness Mondays. I'm your host, T. Sore elbow, for those, if you know, you know. This is episode 72. It's probably more like 74 or 5, but seeing that some of my videos have been yanked down, it's 72 now. So we're just cruising right along. But welcome tonight, guys. Glad you could join us. I see some eyeballs in the room. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Click all the buttons. Give us some love out there, and so we can keep doing what we're doing. Who we got out in the chat? We've got K-Love. How are you? Guy. Tom Bryce. What's going on, Tom? I hope your travels have went well. Sorry we couldn't get out to see you, but we're going to catch you on the way back through, of course. Patrick 7, the man. How is Michigan weather, Patrick? I know it's probably about the same as ours. We have been running 10, 12 degrees. I know 2 days ago, I think it was 30 below zero with the wind chill. It was a freaking snow hurricane. It was insane. I have not seen wind like that since I was down in Hurricane Andrew. Nuts. But we survived. All the animals survived. I survived running around almost naked in the snow, not once, but multiple times. And here we are, still kicking, y'all. But thanks for being a part of what we're doing tonight. What do we have on the agenda? First and foremost, this episode is brought to you by Soil Saviors. If you haven't noticed the craziness that's been getting rained down upon us, and I'm not going to get into it because I can't talk about exact explicits about stuff that comes down out of the sky, but I will tell you that there is funky stuff going on in the world. I'm talking to people in Montana and it's like 50, 60 degrees. They ain't got no snow in certain parts. We're getting hammered left and right. For some reason, the skies are just a big old milky, cloudy mess. All this snow and stuff around us just stinks. I don't know what it is. There's funky stuff in there. If you didn't catch our partners and my friend Billy Bond over on Permapastures Farm earlier, check that episode out. He had Doc Will on there and, of course, his son William. And they were talking about some testing that they did on the snow and the ice and all the different corners of the United States. And nasty. That's all I'm going to say. Disgusting. The stuff that they found in the snow that they tested. Call it what you want. I'm going to call it hosing us down like cockroaches. That's what I'm going to call it. But on top of all that, it's been cold. Of course, we finally got plowed out here at the homestead. Fired the old Bobcat up and scraped all the snow and ice off. So we are officially capable of getting down the driveway again. And hopefully I will, that will make my falling down a minimal now. So, what does Swordsman say? He said, tax season is ramping up. Ain't no lie. It's getting that time. Did your chicken eggs freeze? No, they did not. Tom, the chickens we pick up, well, we bust ice a couple times a day. And then, we usually go out and grab chicken eggs, couple times a day. So about halfway through, Amber will be out there petting them and holding them and loving them and get eggs. And then, of course, when we wrap the day up, the same thing repeat. I will tell you, though, guys, everyone around us is freaking buying eggs again because of this cold snap. And we are not. Our chickens have just been killing it. The girls, we are getting close to 24 eggs a day out of our smaller flock. I mean, I think we have about 35 hens, I think. And just been phenomenal how many eggs we've been getting out of these girls. And I'll tell you, there is something to it that Amber has been doing. If you guys have some chickens, you guys got some backyard chickens, oatmeal with all the fixings every morning. She makes them a thing of oatmeal when it's cold out like this, puts in crushed red pepper, basil, thyme, all the herbs. And these hens are healthy as a horse, and they are kicking out eggs like a vending machine. I mean, it is amazing. So if you want to get the recipe to make your chickens lay even in these ridiculously cold spots, hit up Amber either via Messenger or Rustic Roots Heritage Homestead on Facebook. She will give you the magic recipe. They've been doing great, guys. They've been doing, and they love it. It's healthy for them, helps with parasite loads, cleans them all up. And Mr. Matt King, he says, I haven't had to buy a single egg in months and months. Good for you, bro. That's what I like to hear. That makes it all the more worth it. Now those eggs are only costing you like $5 a piece after you've done with all the fixings, fancy houses and waters and toys and coats and hats. I do have Viking hats crocheted for my turkeys. I'm not going to lie. Video to come. I'll show you guys what that thing looks like. But what else do we have? Mountain Readiness May. Mountain Readiness May coming up to you May 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. We've got, I still have not got everybody loaded on the website. The lovely Jax Janega is going to be back with us. She'll be joining us doing classes. Kevin Estella is going to be with us for a day. It's going to be a phenomenal time. We have not one, but two bands that will be playing this May. Friday night will be the awesome Anthony Bonnet from Texas, part of the Mountain Readiness crew. And then Saturday night will be the Clicker Licker band that was with us for this last event. Awesome band. We had a great time. You guys are going to enjoy them. If you have not been with us, you've not heard these bands, they are awesome. So I've got both those guys out there, but get your tickets and grab your spot, get your camping. If you're looking for a camping spot on site, we don't handle it no more. We turned it over to Casey with the Campground. If you scroll down to the bottom of each event that you clicked on, it says for camping, click here. It gives you his phone number. Call the man, reserve your spot, and get squared away, because it's definitely going to be worth your time to come join us. We're processing chickens. We're processing a sheep. We've got actually be a ram. We've got a ram that Billy and William we're gonna hands-on sheep processing. Then we're gonna cook all this stuff up and eat it. What else do we have? Mountain Readiness West, of course, in July. All kinds of awesome people coming to this one as well. And of course, we've got the whole Angry Nation going down there. We've got Russ and Teresa. Of course, big shout out to Russ, the Russ of Oz, back there pulling the levers for us tonight. As always, making things easy for me out here in live land so I don't screw it up. Make sure to check out Mountain Readiness West. It's live. We're going to be doing it. It's going to be fun. We're going to process and eat elk, is what Joe Dolio told me, and make sausage, elk sausage, moose sausage. He even said moose sloppy joes. I was like, sign me up. That's what I'm talking about. Where else can you have some moose sloppy joes other than Mountain Readiness West, Swan Lake, Montana, 1 hour from Glacier National Park. Make sure to get your spot if you can make it. What else we have? And of course, last but not least, the Sovereign Health Summit in October. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger and better. You ain't got nothing if you ain't got your health, y'all. So if you're struggling with your health, and everyone in this day and age is, whether it be from what's raining down from the sky, what's in the dirt, what's in the water, what's in our foods, it's like every time we turn, we are being beat up by our surroundings. And of course that plays a part in your health, a huge part in your health. And especially if you're stuck in areas where you have to eat a lot of this processed food and garbage like that, of course, if you can get away from it, absolutely do it. But if you can't, you're living in the big cities, you don't have those gardens you're still trying to set up infrastructure, you're kind of subject to the garbage and whatever they want you to eat. So check us out at the Sovereign Health Summit. Learn how to combat all of these issues that are being forced upon us in this world. Let's get to tonight's guest. Tonight's guest, of course, is one of the Mountain Readiness crew. He's been around since the beginning. Comms expert, seasoned expert, over 30 years in the emergency response, working in the hazard and threat assessment areas. When it comes to commo, it does, of course, all of our ham radio testing at Mountain Readiness. And now the author of not one, but 2 books. I don't know where you guys are finding all this time. You guys are writing books fast. I don't read that fast, guys. I really don't. I'm not that smart. It takes me months to get through one book. You guys are pumping out books faster than I can read them. So without further ado, let's bring out our guest tonight, Mr. Nick Meacher.
Hi.
What's going on, man?
Oh, it's going on. And actually, I won't say soon because I'm not sure how long it's going to take me to do the 3rd book, but it's been started.
Good grief, Nick.
Hey, look, the first one took me 7 years. Well,
it was 7 years.
It was 7 years.
Right.
Yeah. So
you.
Yeah, go ahead.
You've got the Meadow protocol, and then the Bush is the second one.
Brush.
What's that?
Brush. The brush.
Brush. My bad. Yes. My bad. I'm reading stuff. How long did it take you to? When did you finish the Meadow protocol?
Right before my surgery. So I think it was the 10th of December. It was live on Amazon.
Yep. And now you've got, so how many months then on the Brush did you put?
I wrote that in 20 days.
20 days.
Yep.
Man, I'm gonna tell you right now. Yeah, it takes me 20 days to read a book, Nick, much less to write a book.
I didn't have anything else to do. I was sitting on the couch and taking some pain medication and icing my knee. That was about all I was doing. So
that's what it is. It was good drugs. That's what
it was. Good drugs. Well, it did take me quite a few days after I'd finished it to go back and proofread and edit and what have you. And then the lady that helps me kind of put everything in the right format, et cetera, she was busy. So it took her a few days to do that. But yeah.
Well, I mean, it worked for Edgar Allan Poe. It worked for Nick Meacher too. So nothing.
Yeah. Well, so
drugs
yeah, the interesting thing behind the first one, and was that I had a concept. I'd written a couple of chapters and I pitched it to Chris, and he goes, "Yeah, you need to write that." And then so I started writing it, and then along came COVID, and I got busy at work. We were doing 16-hour days, and just life happened after that, and I never got back to it. And the last 2 times at Mountain Readiness, I was like, yes, I need to get back on with my book. And then last time in October, it was like, yes, I really do. And I got knee surgery coming up, and I'll be on, medical leave. So, but I got back to it, and it did not take me long because I was working from home, which gave me 5 hours a day back, pre-surgery. Because the doctor said, hey, look, you've got to stay at home so you can properly take your medication. So during that time, I think that was like early November was when they finally said, yep, you can work from home. And so, that's what I did. I got that 5 hours a day back, and I just started cranking it. And I'd given myself till February or March so that it would be ready for Mountain Readiness. And I just got back into it, and it just flew together much faster than I thought. And, like I said, about the 10th of December, I put it out there. So, and of course, my dog is right here wanting now to be paid attention to because I am talking to people.
And she's attention.
Yeah.
Because you're not paying attention. That's the problem.
Yeah. So
how is the knee, by the way? How's the knee?
The knee is doing good. I've only the last 4 or 5 days. I've only taken the pain medication when it's bedtime. Did take it when I got back from physical therapy today, but they put me on home physical therapy for the first 4 weeks because it was that bad, and getting around. But I'm able to walk without a walking stick for the last week, or well, before that, I was able to get around the house without, the walker. And then now I'm getting around without using the walking stick. I occasionally take it in the store, depending on how much walking I got to do around the store. But for the most part, like today I was out, didn't use it once. So
awesome.
It's got a lot of mobility to still get back in it, but physical therapy's like, yeah, you're doing really well. So,
hey, good for that. Good for you, because I know those knee surgeries, they usually go one of two directions: really good or really not good.
Well,
so,
and yeah, mine was bad. The doctor told my daughter before I was awake that it was in the top 5 worst he's ever seen, and he almost bailed. He almost bailed on the surgery, and then in physical therapy, the resident that going to physical therapy, they can see his notes because they're part of the same group. No, you're not going out again. You were just out. And they said that I have a hinge in there now, because there was nothing left. And there was nothing left of the femur, the bottom of the femur, the knuckle that comes down and against the bottom bone. There was nothing left. This is all disintegrated. He was pulling out basically bone chips.
Bone on bone. Well, I'm glad.
Well, it wasn't even that. It was free floating. He's like, I have no idea how you were able to walk. He said, in theory, you should not have been able to walk.
Yeah.
And so, and
I'm glad you're
said,
coming along.
So yeah, I'm glad.
You are too.
I'm glad they actually had the part in stock, because they told me it's not something they normally have to do. So I was glad
I didn't
they
even
had
know
it.
that was a thing. Like, yeah, sorry, we're gonna have to postpone that. That's on national back order.
Yeah,
I didn't
well,
know you
yeah.
could even do that with knees.
Well, yeah, because it's not something they normally do, and it didn't show that kind of damage on the X-ray. It didn't,
Pete,
didn't show.
Pete Robertucci, man, don't let that get out. Like, I'm just telling you right now, man, keep that on the lowdown.
Which part?
Yeah, the whole, knowing us. He said, I know these guys.
Oh, I know these guys. Yeah, so.
Yeah, keep that on the lowdown. My lovely wife, there's who you contact if you want that blend for your backyard chickens. How's everybody surviving the cold? I heard y'all Florida people got the cold too. We were just talking about that, and I'm sure everybody is not happy down that way. And Nick, you were just talking about that. Before we get into it, guys, if you have a question for Nick, hashtag Nick. And remember, this is the preparedness guy. He does this is his job. This is what he's been doing for the past 30 years. So if you have a question, it's hashtag Nick. And we're going to do a giveaway later tonight of a book. If you already have book 1, then he'll send you book 2. So what's up for dibs is book 1. And if you already have book 1, you get book 2. So did I get that right, Nick?
Yep, exactly.
Lovely.
It'll be a few weeks before I get book 2 in, because you know how it is when you publish it and you order some yourself, it takes like forever. But yeah,
exactly. No, there's no doubt. Who is that? This is Mel. What in the world? Where does this new name come from? What is this? I didn't even know this was Mel. And what is it? Yeah, Pete. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to take a few seconds to let the dog out.
Let him out. We'll go through some stuff here. What is this? What's going on, Mr. King? It's like trucking. Yeah, NBO parts. Freaking knees are on national back order, man. I cannot believe that. How y'all doing out there in Florida? I know we were just talking to Nick about this, but all you Florida people down there, how's things in the orange state? You guys freezing down there? You making it through? You got all your preps in order? Throw us something in the comments there. So, and everybody's already putting the hashtag fortune, of course, for that free book when we do our drawing. So hashtag Nick for a question, hashtag fortune to be put into the drawing tonight. And we'll do that here a little bit later today. So let's see here. Mr. Swordsman 007, he says, Nick, can we buy your books from you directly?
Yeah, they're on my website. The paperback's on my website. I've got some hardcovers coming in, which should be here in the next couple of days. And as soon as I get those, I'll do it tomorrow. If I have them or not, I'll put those up on the website as well. But yeah, they're on my website.
Good. And Patrick, bring your tail, man. Let's go. Quit procrastinating. You already got a taste of it this last year. You might as well keep on going. You might as well head up there up to good old Montana while you're at it too. You know Joe Dolio has missed you, so jump on up there and do that. Nick, I think everybody here already knows you that's in the chat tonight. But give the brief rundown about what you do, where you came from, and then let's talk about these 2 books a little bit.
Let's see. Where did I come from? Well, sometimes you'll hear it in my accent, but I'm originally from England. Started my career in law enforcement, but before that, as a volunteer with a water rescue group. So I have had some experience early on with the old life-saving kind of thing. 7 years in law enforcement in London until I came over here, and then got into the medical field, EMT, paramedic, did a lot of classes, taught a lot of stuff. Lived in Alaska for 2 stints where I actually designed and developed and taught wilderness, first aid, and survival kind of combined class. Where did I go from there? Now I got into emergency management. So
right.
That's
and
where I
emergency
went.
management. Is this 30 years then total? You've been doing the emergency management?
Well, 30 years between the start of career in law enforcement. So between law enforcement, paramedic, emergency management, 30 some years of, actually probably more than that now because it's my birthday later this month. So I'll be 60
happy
something.
Early birthday.
60 something.
Don't look a day over 80, Nick. You're doing good.
Well, hey, look, my barber had surgery, so this is like way longer than it's ever been. You know how short I keep my hair.
I actually was on the floor playing with one of my turkeys earlier this week, and Amber took a picture of me, and I did not realize how much gray was up there on the top. You don't look at the top of your head.
No,
but
mine's
I said, "Oh, snap! That was brutal. That was a brutal awakening."
There's no. It's all
my age.
It's all.
Matt King, thanks for letting us know that. But yeah, guys, let me throw that back up there real quick. That's my dog Bonnie. If you haven't checked out the picture, he's got to go let his dog in. Speaking of dogs, a bunch of dog lovers in here in the house. But everybody vote for our dog Bonnie. She's in the competition. Amber put her picture up there. She's our Great Pyrenees Shepherd mix, one of our dogs here on the homestead that takes care of all the livestock, a guardian livestock dog. So get on Facebook and vote for her because we want her to win because she's an awesome puppy. So there we have it. Thanks for reminding that. You did Swiftwater Rescue. I didn't know that about you, Nick.
Actually, it was not Swiftwater. It's although I did do Swiftwater training as a medic, but that was just part of the classes.
Okay, so you're talking about the diving.
Well, I used to do diving. I did diving as a hobby in my teens.
Right on.
So
yeah, so water rescue was just in.
It was the ocean, English, south coast of England, beaches.
Wow. Very cool. That would be cool to try out. I know we did some Swiftwater rescue. I did some training in that with the fire department when I was on the department there for about 5 years. And that's brutal. That's brutal stuff right there. So
yeah,
same thing in the ocean, I'm sure.
Yeah. Ours was just the very basics. We didn't have the suits and everything, but it was basic water rescue techniques, especially in one of the counties where we worked as a medic, because a lot of times we could end up being first there because we were the only paid service in the county. The rest, as a medic, the rest were all volunteer companies. So depending on where it was, sometimes we could be there before the locals. Not always, but
nice.
It was just one of those things. They added it to our training.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I really enjoyed when I was on the department, all that stuff. That and high angle rope rescue. That was,
I did that too.
I love that stuff. That was, I don't know how much I would like it at this point. I mean, this
No.
has been close to 15 plus years ago.
Mine would have been.
I loved it. I loved it at that time, but
I was in my 20s, so it would have been 40, almost 40 years ago.
Yeah,
I did
rope
rope rescue. Yeah, I did the high angle. So my training was in high angle, but when I moved to Alaska, I joined the wilderness search and rescue team, and I had a search and rescue dog at the time, and because I had the medical background, I got seconded as their medical person. So we did a couple of those, and the interesting thing in Alaska, where we were, they had arrangements. Well, the state police, the state troopers ran all rescues. That was their thing. And but a lot of times they would contract with one of the local helicopter companies that in the summertime did sightseeing tours, but other times they would fly around utility workers and stuff. And so there's one they did. They flew us up to the backside of a glacier, and that was brutal. You're flying up there in like zero visibility, and these guys, kudos to these guys, because it was like. And I used to fly. I had a private pilot license when I was in England for helicopters as well. So, it was like, holy crap! You can just see the ends of the rotors, and you're going up a glacier at the backside. So the glacier's like this, and you're going up like this till you get to a flat piece. Was semi-flat. It was like this, and he goes, "Okay, you're getting out here. I'm not landing. You got to jump." It's
out.
On a glacier, yeah. So you drop your packs and you jump.
Tell me again what's wrong with your knees?
Yeah.
Probably. I know high altitude in helicopters as well gets really sketch from what I hear too, just because that higher altitudes and the freezing, the hydraulics and all that kind of stuff. I know at a certain point you got to be careful when you're up there in the chopper getting that high.
Yeah, these glaciers weren't too high. Not like, when I was in Colorado, you're looking at 10,000, 14,000 feet. I never did that stuff in Colorado. Because you're already a mile high when you're in Colorado. So you should add another 10, 14,000 feet to that. And we used to see that. I mean, I wasn't involved in rescue stuff there, but they would get people that would like come up to Colorado to do, the 10 and 14,000 peaks. And there's more of those peaks there than the rest of the world combined, if I remember my geography correctly. And they would get people that would get altitude sickness because they wouldn't spend like at least 3 or 4 days on the ground in Denver before they start trying to climb a 10,000 foot, and that's another 2 miles,
Yeah.
Is it 6,000? Yeah.
5,000
something
section.
Well, it's not only that, it's the pulmonary stuff you get, you end up with the blood seeping into your lungs because the pressure changes.
Was that pulmonary edema?
Pulmonary edema.
Yeah.
Which can end up in an embolism, which will kill you.
Pretty much game over. I remember. I love watching the Sherpa mountain climbers.
Oh, those
dudes are not freaking human. Like everybody is on an oxygen mask, and these guys are sitting there smoking a cigarette.
Well, there's video I saw just recently whereby they came across and literally you get left to die. And they were going up and they came across a guy and the Sherpa put him on his back and carried him down. There's a guy, I read this book. I can't think what the book was called now. I think it was called Into Thin Air. And I cannot remember the guy's name now. It was on the tip of my tongue. But he got left for dead like 3 times. People came by, checked him out, and helped him get down a little further, and he couldn't get any further. And in his end, his wife paid a stupid amount of money for them to fly a helicopter up. It was past the limits of the helicopter. Helicopter gets there, and he refuses to go because there's another guy there that's in worse shape. So he makes the pilot take this guy, and then the pilot goes back up and gets him. I want to say his name was Buck something or other. But it's called.
He ended up losing parts of his arms or something.
He ended up losing the front of his fingers, tips of several fingers, and part of his nose. John Krakauer, Into Thin Air. That's the guy that wrote it.
In the Thin Air. I'm going to have to check that out. I've not read that, but I would tell you, those guys are the closest thing to superhuman that there is. Like, just the amount of load that they carry on their backs is incredible. I mean, 3 times their own body weight, these dudes backing around.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
very
that was
cool.
that was a book that I read, and the other one was John Shackleton. Was it John Shackleton? The guy, Ernest Shackleton, that back in the early days of, longboats, he was trying to go around the North Pole or something or other, and his boat got crushed in the ice. And it's an incredible journey of how he manages to get back and then recharters another boat after a lot of people wouldn't do anything to go back and get the rest of his crew. And none of his crew died.
Huh. We are not the same. We are not the same as our forefathers, because, man, these people back in the day, I was just watching the remake of Moby Dick. I don't know how recently it come out, but, the whalers, the guys out on the ships whaling, and just brutal hardcore. I don't even know if most people could even do that. I don't know if I would try it out there in the middle of the ocean on a ship, trying to harpoon whales. That's just nuts.
Well, and there was so John Krakauer was actually the climber. He ended up with loss in toenails, permanent sensation loss in his feet, extreme hypoxia, dehydration, snow blindness, which is temporary. So it says he didn't lose any permanent fingers. I thought he did, but but I know.
I mean, that's impressive that he kept all of his fingers.
Yeah.
Because usually, those extremities like that's the first things to go. So,
yeah. I don't know who wrote Into the Wild. I don't know if Krakauer wrote that one, because that was another one I read, and that was about a kid that decided to go up into Alaska and try and live by himself, and ended up eating poisonous berries when there was plenty of other edible stuff. So he just wasn't educated. So
he messed up. Yeah.
Those are all those kind of things that got me into the preparedness piece. They were all just part of the journey of learning that. And when you live in Alaska, you learn stuff too. Because especially, we were in landlocked Juneau, which is the capital. And so wintertime, especially, you could go, a couple of weeks without a barge coming in. So you'd see the shelves in the stores empty and what have you. So, yeah, somebody just wrote that Krakauer did write Into the Wild. I thought he did just because of the name.
Yeah. And then, so you were in Juneau then. I know we had a question of where you were at in Alaska. So Juneau, Alaska. Okay.
Yep, Juneau, Alaska.
Well, let's see here. He said, did ride Into the Wild, Chris McCandless and his misadventures in Alaska. Yeah, like what a bum rap. Like eat the wrong berries, man. That just, I guess it happens to the best of us. So.
Yeah, and there's tests. I remember, and I am not by any stretch of the means into the edibles and wild edibles and foraging and stuff. But the few things I do remember, was like how to test food before you actually eat it, like rubbing a piece of it on your skin, and then taking a little bit on your lips, and before you actually
to a degree that will that probably would have saved him right there. That probably would have saved him right there. If you want to get spun up on those wild edibles, come see Jax at Mountain Readiness. She has a ridiculous repertoire of index of tree and plants. That girl is phenomenal.
The amount of, and I have to say, this goes across the board, and we say it a lot of times related to firearms, but training and use it or lose it. And there's stuff that I've forgotten. Like I used to know quite a bit about wild plants and stuff and things like that. The only thing that I do remember, and this was because I took a course with SAS instructors, it was the effects and use of nettle tea. If you ever get poisoned, something or other, nettle tea, and the one thing the instructor was always said is, when you drink it, make sure you've assumed the position, because it will clean you out faster than anything. Yeah.
And yes, Patrick, and I will not partake of any wild edibles of Mel. We'll just leave it at that. That'll be the end of that.
I always ask
not even touching
when candy is being passed around.
We both ask every single time.
I never have, and I don't want to.
No. So let's talk about these books. We've got 2 books, and one is so the brush is going to be released here, or it is released.
Well, so it's in. I just looked. It's still in pending status, but apparently the Kindle version or whatever the heck you call it is actually released. It's the 2 printed versions that are still in review. So
tell us about. Let's talk about these books. The Meadow Protocol.
Yeah.
Where did the inspiration for this book come from? Of course, I'm going to guess a lot of your life went into this. None at all.
No.
None at all.
No.
So
the inspiration for that book, and the working title was Beelzebub Meadow. And so Beelzebub is another name for Satan. Lucifer. And so where I used to work, there was this statue, or still is, that was nicknamed Lucifer. And so that's where go fetch it. That's where that name came from. Yeah, don't accept anything Mel offers. Yeah,
that's correct. You could end up you'll end up the same place as that dude In the Wild did. That's what will happen to you.
Yeah. You might find yourself buck naked and running around Campground.
laying around, wondering how you got there.
So anyway. So the working title was Beelzebub Meadow. And where I used to work, there were a lot of conspiracy theories about the place. There's a lot of related conspiracy theories that sort of kind of tie into that. And if you go research, you can find it. And so I started just because it was just an intriguing thing. I'm working there. So, hey, I want to know about all this stuff. Is it true? Is it not true? So I did research, and as I kind of researched, you end up, this was before AI. You go look and you find like stuff on the web, and then, what about that? And you go do some research about that, and you could do about this. So you get thinking, and I started mapping it out, and everybody knows I do mind maps. And I started mapping this stuff out. And sorry, I got to play catch with the dog, otherwise she's going to be crazy here. So anything that keeps him entertained, we'll go fetch it. So I started mapping it out, and as I kind of looked at this, and I had access to a nice big plotter printer, and I printed this mind map out that was huge and hung it in my living room in my apartment. And I was looking at this going, some of this could be true. I wonder. And so that's how the story started. Was I took a whole bunch of conspiracy stuff, and then things I know that are true, like continuity programs, and we all get down. Things that are true, and then if Annie Jacobson's book Nuclear War, somebody referenced me that several months ago, which kind of fed into the book as well, because that's factual. So a lot of that, I put that stuff together and looked at that and went, hey, this there could be something to this. So that's what I did. I made sure that everything that I put about places, it can be found on the internet, so that I would not get into trouble for accidentally revealing things that I may or may not know that you couldn't find on the internet. And so that's how that started. I weaved a bunch of stuff together. My biggest question that I asked, Chris about and early on was, how do you come up with characters? And he goes, people you know. And I went, so back 7 years ago when I was writing this book, some people at work were writing it, and we were joking around about some stuff. I was like, yeah, I'm writing this book. And they're like, I want to be in your book. So most of the people that are in the first book are people that I knew back in Colorado. Names are changed to protect the innocent or guilty, as whatever the case may be.
Is there anyone that we know that's in the book?
Oh, that's a good question. Yes. Yes.
There is. Okay. All right.
In the first book, there is
In
towards.
the first book.
Yes, I can't remember where the character appears, and I'm not going to say if it's male or female.
Yeah. No, I mean this
but
is
there
the
is-
suspense part. So
Yeah, there
everybody,
is-
when we read this, we got to figure out who it is that Nick has put in this book and wrote into this book. So the second book. So the first one is basically we've got conspiracy theories that pretty much play out. Is that correct?
Yeah, so it goes into, and it starts with a known place. And I think at some point that place is mentioned, but not early on. But if you know any history about continuity programs, it's well known. So a known place. So I tried my best not to fix dates in there. But if you know that one, you can fix the date. But then after that, it gets vague. But that's how it opens, with a known continuity site. And then it moves to another location that back around that same time frame. And this is how things started like mapping for me, because I knew that date, right? When a certain place came into the press and came into public view, and I knew that date. And then around that same time is when the place that I used to work at was being constructed, and which kind of ties into conspiracy theory. Well, why is it delayed several more years when it was supposed to be open? Why are they delaying it? And these excuses that they were using just didn't make sense. And there's these weird statues and weird paintings there, and inferring things and what have you. So that's how that started. And
Okay.
there's technology that was hinted at being around at the time, which if you know how to go search patents, you can find it. There were maps that people drew that said, hey, this is this secret place. And if you look at it and know how to orient it to the prime location, you realize that, hang on a second, the symbol that's north is actually reversed. It's like somebody did a mirror of it.
Right.
And so if you flip it and rotate it, you can line it up with the location, and it plots to another location where they talk about, which again, you can actually follow a description. It tells you how to get there, and you look at it and go, well, that could be true. It might be true. And it makes sense,
Right.
So yeah, I took all that stuff and just kind of threw it in a pot and mixed it up. And
So we've got that. We've got the conspiracy theories and everything playing out in this. Now, the second book that just come out, The Brush, is this a continuance of the first book then?
yeah.
So we're going right into the second.
Yeah. So
second
it was interesting when I asked AI how to classify the first book. It classified it as a conspiracy techno theory near government conspiracy, not as a apocalyptic book.
Right.
Which it isn't. It doesn't start off like most other books and most other authors. The event happens if you go 1 second after, or Chris's books, or anything like that. They have all started.
Catastrophe, and then
It's happened.
bam.
This one doesn't. This one builds that whole conspiracy, lays out a group, and then towards the end of the first book, something happens. You don't know until the second book what the impacts of that are. So,
Gotcha.
the second book is your typical. I don't want to say typical, because it isn't. It's not a complete post-apocalyptic thing. It's something. That's where the title comes from. It was basically a near miss, and so it leads more into the development of the characters at this location, which is loosely written around some people that everybody in it is people I know, and then what happens to them, how it relates to this other place. It's the government but not government place. And then it just develops that out, and the ending of that one leads you kind of like, with a couple of different cliffhangers going on, tying in some stuff and what have you. And so I've already written the prelude and the first chapter of book 3 that kind of,
Book 3 already on its way.
Yeah, but I
It
paused.
sounds awesome.
Yeah, I paused everything because as I was writing the second book, and one of the things I wanted was authenticity in it. So like when somebody gets shot, there's, well, what do they do? And so it explains the assessment the assessment process. How do you assess somebody that's been injured? How do you triage people because you got multiple people injured? And so you can only do so much within the story until it gets too technical. So there are appendices in the book that go into it in a little bit more, like intelligence gathering and things like that. But then what I ended up doing was either rewriting or writing accompanying pages. So there's QR codes or the URLs in the book, and you can go to that page on the website. So I ended up writing about 20 new pages or more. But the problem I ran into was that the back end of the website, there was an issue, and it wasn't letting me create the menu. So these web pages existed. The URL in the book is correct, but I couldn't bring them up on the menu. So, I had to get hold of the web people and do some stuff, and they fixed it. Well, actually, no, they told me how to fix it. But I ended up some troubleshooting and figured it out. And so now the menu's back. Now I realized I got 20 some plus pages. And so I did I'm still working on it. Not necessarily reorganizing, but completely, it is reorganizing. I went down some rabbit holes, finding some pages, and went, I thought I wrote that one. I didn't write it. Or if I wrote it, I can't find it. It's hidden there somewhere.
Right.
And so
let me get this straight. So your book, you've got your URLs in there that people can reference if they want to go deeper into what's going on there for, treating, triage, whatever it may be.
Intelligence.
You've got that available.
Yeah,
nice.
Intelligence.
Okay.
So if you want to bring up some of those slides, because as we go through, so these are, and I started this web page 10 plus years ago because I was writing for a magazine, and then that ended, and it's like I started writing it as a book, and it got to the point where, hang on a second, I got to go intercept the dog. He got hold of his own remote collar.
We'll look through a couple. I just seen, what was it here? Matthew said, if you write a book, T, I want to be a character in it. Oh, you be in it, bro. But the thing's going to have to be published as fiction. Like, I cannot, there it is. That's the book. It's got to be fiction. Every time I start writing a book, it ends up, I'm like, man, ain't nobody going to believe that crap. So it just, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a fictional book that's actually real life. So, but anyway, what are we looking at here? We got Fortune favorites.
So this is how this started originally as a map out for a book on preparedness. Is like, what are the areas? And so these are essentially the air. Get away. He's trying to get hold of his remote collar thing, and he's been chewing at it. And so these were the areas that I came up with years ago, and this is how the website was then laid out. And I still have the original text of the book. And so, I've been using AI to create some of these graphics because the mind map itself, and that's what I started doing. It's like, okay, I need to update or create a mind map to actually, for my purposes of going, what pages are where, what is stuff that's behind the Patreon wall? Because that was one of the things I realized. It's like, okay, how much of this stuff have I got on the pay site? Because that's something I wanted to make sure I had. For people, because if you run a web page, it costs a lot of money, and certainly my job doesn't pay me that much to do that. And so that was part of this whole process is enough to pay for the website stuff. So I wanted to make sure. So anyway, started this, and these ones I created today based on the master mind map. So if you want to go to the next one, threat assessment. There's a lot of stuff on threat assessment, and a lot of this
There's
got
a lot
built.
of stuff there.
There's a lot of stuff there. And a lot of it, some of it's original articles. So like, at the very top, the being prepared for civil unrest. Those are articles. There's like 4 or 5 articles there I wrote back when the original Antifa stuff was going on in Portland about what to do, how to spot it, some precautions you can take, some, steps you can take, etc. And then a lot of the rest of this stuff, some of it's related to the workbook I had, the personal preparedness assessment workbook, and knowing what your hazards are, and that's talked about in the book, in the fiction books. And so one of the things that is in the book, and this was just something that occurred to me when there's a House of Dynamite. There's I think it's a Netflix movie. Is it Netflix? I think it's Netflix out. And I saw that and went, oh yeah. So, we know, and I've had this mapped out for a while, but you know about defense condition. Everybody knows DEFCON, but there's all these other ones, and they're actually on the preparedness condition mind map that I created many years ago. Is changes in the government preparedness continuity threat assessment hazards should be indicators to us, the prepared folks, that something's going on. And there's ways that not that they publicize it, but there's ways that you can get an idea. There's certain things that you can see happening that would indicate that, hey, look, they've upped their continuity status. They've moved from, level 4 to level 3, which means they're moving people. And so that's where all that comes in. And so, like, you'll see there's some fictional ones that I created for the book. One of them is communications conditions, which, as I was thinking about it and developed it, it was basically for one of the locations in the book. What is the status of the communication systems? And that was an idea that came around when we started seeing all these cellular outages last year and again this year. And it's like, which leads into your PACE communications plan. What's your primary, alternate, et cetera. And so that's how that came about. It was like, well, that makes sense. And so the webpage I created, it talks about it because, it's in the book. But at the same time, it's like, how do you relate this to your prepping personal preparedness plan? And it's like, yeah.
So everything that we're looking at here, this is on the back side of your website, which also coincides with the books that you wrote, is pieces of this is dispersed throughout it. Okay.
Yep.
Very cool. What else we got on the slides here then? What do we got?
Go to the next one. Yeah.
Yeah, let's see what we've got.
All right, so planning, right? So you need to do your assessment first, right? Your personal preparedness assessment, because then you know what you're planning for. Are you planning to? Most people that don't have a clue go, I'm planning for the big one, right? The Tekawaki, the end of the world as we know it, or the SHI, shit, it's a fan scenario. But in actual fact, you're more likely to be impacted from severe winter weather. Well, when you do your threat and hazard assessment, you get a severe weather event and you go, okay, well, what things do I need to have to mitigate that? Maybe I need to have water stored if my pump doesn't work or the water's out, or I need a generator to keep the heat running. And what kind of generator? How do I do that?
Right.
So that's where your planning part.
You should have pushed this out to everyone throughout the East Coast, Nick.
I've been putting it. So
because I mean, I'm not even kidding when I say people had 3 to 5 days in advance knowing this storm was coming. Everybody is saying you're going to get hit with ice. Number one was a couple inches ice. You're catching ice no matter what. You're going to get it. You're going to get it. 3 to 5 days. And he's going to go after the dog. 3 to 5 days, we'll just keep running. And everyone knew this was coming. And yet the day before, literally the evening before this kicked off, we're driving around and people are in line a mile long to get propane tanks filled. 3 to 5 days, they knew this was coming. Mile-long lines getting propane tanks filled, and they knew about this for up to a week. And so this is the kind of stuff that really people need to start looking at, is to make sure that they don't do that. Because, good grief, man, how do you live your life at the last second like that, nonstop? I can't do it.
Well, and what amazes me is that a large portion of that area has had impacts from hurricanes, like less than 2 years ago. And so to me, that was just crazy. And, for those of us that know, a store doesn't get resupplied within 3 days, right? When you pay for it at the checkout and they scan that barcode automatically goes into their ordering system that creates an order that causes the truck at the distribution center to be loaded with that stuff, right? And it takes 3 days. But, you think about that and go, but 3 days, that means it's not going to get back into the store in 3 days. We could be in the storm and the roads are going to be bad. So add another 3 days. That's just, I'd like to say it was common sense, but apparently it's not.
Well,
so,
I think we're lacking some. I think we've got some lacking of common sense. Is something that just is it's fleeting. It's hard to come by in this day and age because we see it all the time. I see right here in Wilkesboro, the town next to us. Once again, if these people hadn't learned from the last time, had the big clear totes, you buy at Wally World to put stuff in, storage totes, 20 gallon, 25 gallon, filling it up with gasoline in the back of her vehicle. Storage totes that you would put clothing or whatever in, filling up with gas in the SUV, so it's actually in the vehicle. You just see this over and over and over again. At Walmart, you go in there. Yeah. Here's my question. What in the world is up with milk and bread? Like, I've never, ever in my life said, oh, snap, I got to get to the store and get me some milk and bread. Like, what? What do you need bread for that bad?
Well, if the power's out, I guess making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, the good old standby.
That's like, bread was made for prisoners.
Yeah.
For prisoners. That's what bread is, right, people? Quit going out there and eating like a prisoner, man. Go have a T-bone.
Yeah, there's that jail in Arizona. Isn't there a jail in Arizona that he feeds them peanut butter and jelly sandwiches? That's what they get to eat. Maricopa County or something like that. But but this is stuff that, one of the things I realized when I started this whole, I need to fix the website, that I did not map out all the extra pages that are there for, if you buy the Family Emergency Plan workbook, there's about 8 pages of stuff that again, when I created that workbook, there's QR codes and the password to take you to pages that tell you how to find it, why you need it, stuff like that. I created those web pages, but I never mapped it. So on this one, some of those ones that are in red, and the AI didn't do 100% job. This is down and dirty, me playing around just to kind of show, hey, there's this stuff out there, but I mapped it this time, so I have a huge map of where pages are. So when I go to add a page, in a couple of instances, it appears under 2 categories, but it's the same page on the back end. It's just indexed better. But like intelligence, this was a big piece in the second book. How do you get intelligence? How do you stop people getting intelligence? So communications, intelligence, in electronic intelligence, basic principles of direction finding. That is things that are used in the book that are in there. Operation security, right? How do you do operation security? Community intelligence. How do you gather intelligence? What is the process for that? That's all explained in the book. And then obviously the communications piece. And this is, I've got some work to clean it up a little bit, but there's new stuff in there.
So I mean, you basically have flow chart on top of flow chart to help people, to guide them through these many different aspects of preparedness of where they need to be.
Right. And one of the themes that's expanded on in the last, part of writing the book was the whole mutual assistance groups. And there's a few books out there about it. But again, there's web pages on there, how do you go around recruiting people? How do you vet those people? How do you bring them in? Because, when you look at this, you realize I can't learn all this stuff. I've been fortunate. I've had a couple of careers that have trained me in this stuff. But even if something bad happened, you cannot do it all. Even if you have all the knowledge, you can't do it all because there's just too much stuff to do. So, medical training. One of the things that I'm building into the website, there's one up there already. It's not listed anywhere, but how to actually conduct intelligence training. There's another one on how to, it's a lesson plan. Essentially, there's lesson plans that I've started to build that are kind of sort of self-study stuff. I mean, you're going to need resources and stuff, but that was something I wanted to put out there because how do I get more training on it? So like in the medical one, there's a page. I don't think it's it's up there now. There's a page on these are all the different levels of medical training. This is how many hours it's going to take you to get it. But everybody should have this basic level. And a lot of that early on preparedness training type stuff comes from the character that's in the book, a Sergeant Major, who was Special Forces A-Team. And a concept that, he taught me in the group that I was part of is that everybody has a basic level of communications, a basic level of medical, basic, firearms, team tactics and things like that. But then you have skilled levels like engineering people that can build stuff and fabricate stuff, and people who know how to do the opposite, demolish stuff. But then you have your more skilled communications person and your more skilled medical people. And so, that reminds me, there's actually 2 characters of people we know in the book. I thought there was just one. I just remember there's another. There's at least.
Is this book 1 or book 1 and 2?
They appear in both.
Okay, all right.
So the people the people that are introduced in book 1 are in book 2, and there's some new people in book 2, and there's going to be some new people in book 3.
Awesome.
So that's fun, trying to keep all the characters straight.
Right. Well, we're on top of the hour. In fact, we just went past. So let's give a book away, man. Let's give a book away, guys. If you haven't entered it, that's it. We're gonna spin the wheel of fortune. So give her the whirl, Russ of Oz. Let's see who the lucky winner of the book is. Around and around we go. Doopa 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 doo. Where are we at? Deanna Rogers. Deanna, you have won yourself a book. If you do not have book 1, then that's what you got. If you do, you can request book 2, but drop up there on the can you throw Nick's website up there for Deanna, Russ? So that
the email, right? No, she needs an email.
Or the email. Yeah. Throw that email up there for her. And write this down, Deanna. Send Nick a email. Where is that email?
It's nick@nickmeacher.com.
There you go. That's easy. Nick@nickmeacher.com. That's as easy as it gets. So congratulations, Deanna. You got yourself a book. Send him that email and he will get you hooked up, and you can start trying to figure out who it was of the group that we should know. So book 1, she says, please.
All right.
So awesome.
Yeah, just shoot me your address. I have book 1 here. I'll get that in the mail tomorrow. I think I got 1 or 2 left. I got more coming. Man, it takes forever to get books in.
It takes forever to get everything in, like knees, knee replace, knee parts, national back order, man. It's just the way.
Yeah,
it goes.
well, I'm gonna have to start ordering now to have books for Mountain Readiness.
That's it. And it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. At least you're selling. Books. That's the main thing. Where can everybody find you at? Let's throw up the QR code for anybody that wants to scan that right here, guys, for Fortune Favorite, They're Prepared. Where else are you? Go ahead and push out what's all your socials. Where can people get in touch with you?
On me on Facebook, I do have one for Fortune Favors They're Prepared on Facebook. I'm on, I never used to use it, but I've been pushing them out with the books. I'm on X, I think under my name. I'm on Instagram under Fortune Favors They're Prepared. I have a MeWe account, which I've started using again. And I've been posting to my LinkedIn, which has been interesting. So what I found is I use this program now that is a video AI. And so I've been using that. It gives you like a 30-second video, which is kind of cool. And so I haven't done any in a few days, but I was pushing one out every 2 days. And it's interesting that the videos get more traction, more views than just a post, but the posts with pictures get more views than just a regular post. So that's things I've been learning on this social media thing. And so I've been putting it out there.
It's a
lot of work.
Struggle. It's a lot of work. It's a mighty struggle.
When I have to go back into the office full time, it's like some of this stuff's not going to happen as much as I'd like it. I can do now.
Right.
So,
Right. Well, I
but
appreciate you
yeah,
coming on, Nick.
my website's up there. Like I said, a lot of it's now is behind some of the stuff is public. But the more detailed stuff, the more kind of training related stuff that, hey, I really want to know this, that's behind the Patreon, because like I said, I gotta start trying to pay for it because it's killing my bank account.
Right.
Oh, you want to have, WooCommerce so you can pay people or people can pay you. Oh, well, that's going to cost you this to load. And, oh, you need this feature. Oh, that's going to cost you this to load. And, oh, you want to actually have backups of your site. So when it crashes, you can just go back and,
Oh yeah. It's a money pit. It's a
oh,
money
it's a-
pit.
yeah. And they all go to
I
this
struggle
monthly
with
fee
it every
thing.
single day.
And they go to this monthly thing now, it's like this, oh, you don't pay for it once. Oh, no, we're going to come after you every 30 days
Oh yeah,
and pay
man.
more.
I pay fees, so many fees, Wix fees, this fee, PayPal fees. I mean, they're just fees
Oh.
stacked on top of fees. So
Yeah.
I get it. I get it 100%. But thanks for coming on tonight, Nick.
Yeah.
Looking forward to checking out the books, trying to figure out who you wrote about. And it was a good time. We'll have to do it again.
Maybe we should have a drawing at. Oh, somebody asked me about the patches. I saw that earlier. So I did post a decal that I made. I had one, and I've got it. I'll give those away. But the new patches I just sent out today to get a quote to get them done as a decal and possibly a patch. It's just depending on how much that's going to cost. Otherwise, you got to float that money so I can recruit it. So, but those are out. I don't know when they're going to get back to me with that and see what that costs. So I'll have those. But maybe Mountain Readiness will do some kind of drawing. It's like if you can guess who the two characters are that are in book one, we'll do something.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. Let's run like that, y'all. We're going to hold him to it, and you guys figure out who these people are. We'll have a giveaway. We'll do a drawing, something on raffle night on Saturday night before the band jumps up on the stage. So appreciate you, Nick. You guys stay safe and warm down there in good old Florida, and we're going to try to do the same here in North
catch some iguanas.
Alaska.
Go catch some iguanas falling out of trees. That's been hilarious watching those videos.
Oh man, I tell you, well, we ain't got that problem. We got icicles falling out of the trees right here. Like somebody just said, it was like welcome to North Carolina, because that's where we are currently at right now.
It's warmer in most parts of Alaska than it is down in the South Coast.
It actually is. It actually is. So, but you guys know the drill. Stay safe. Stay ready. We'll see you next Monday. Roll us on out of here.